Good Sunday morning, everybody. I hope you got the day off. I hope you get out and enjoy the day. Enjoy your family. Put a smile on your face first, and then get out there and make other people smile. Pay it forward. Goes around, comes around. My words and my opinions here at the Mike Poe Report. Look, the propagandists out there want to sell you a pile of bullshit, whether it's the entire Constitution or it's the amendments. The biggest pile of bullcrap they try to sell. Oh, this is what they meant. When they're talking about the Constitution, they usually fall back to the Federalist Papers. Well, it says right here, this is what they meant. Now, with the 14th Amendment, what amazes me is none of the propagandists want to talk about Donald Trump writing an executive order attempting to change the Constitution. No, they don't want to say that. They want to try to imply that he has justifications because the 14th isn't being used the way they meant it. And that's what the bullcrap is, people. They don't want to talk about Donald Trump writing executive orders, rewriting the Constitution, which you don't have to be a legal scholar to know is illegal. He does not have that authority. That is the authority set with the legislature. Okay? Now he tries to change the First Amendment with an executive order. Basically, if you are a immigrant visitor to this nation, you do not have protection under the First Amendment. And that's bullshit. He does not have that authority. And it doesn't matter what they meant. People, you ever hear that term, ironclad contract? You know, you hear it in TV a lot with prenups, you know. Oh, yeah, they were smart. They got Billy Bob, the best lawyer in the business, and they got an ironclad prenup. People, you hire a lawyer when they write your living trust, your will, your personal documents. You get the best lawyer because let's take a will or a trust. When you're gone, let's just say this, when you're about to take your last breath, you want to know in your mind and heart that contract, that your assets are going to be distributed as you want, not in a court battle between people arguing on what they want. Okay, so you hire the best lawyer and you make sure that living will, that trust, whatever, is ironclad and cannot be argued. And how do you do that? You make it quite clear. You make it precise, like the 14th Amendment. All persons born or naturalized in the United States under the jurisdiction. It's quite clear. It's obvious. There's no ambiguity. It doesn't say all black persons born here. It's not referencing the slaves. See, that's what they want to argue. They won't argue that Donald Trump doesn't have the authority to write an executive order to change it, but they'll argue that, oh, he's doing that because they're not following the 14th. No, they're following it. And roughly 30 years later, there was, I believe it was a U.S. citizen of Chinese descent, born in the United States, that came back into the country and they wouldn't let him in, so he challenged it. And the Supreme Court ruled that, yes, indeed, he was a citizen under the 14th Amendment, born here in the United States. Okay, so it's been reaffirmed. And, and then you get some people, oh, well, that was for the previous. People, wake up. Look, if I'm passing a law, it doesn't usually go backwards, all right? But with the 14th Amendment and the Constitution, what it is doing is clarifying what the parameters are to be a citizen. All persons born or naturalized here under the jurisdiction, meaning you're not a diplomat. If they can arrest you, you're under the jurisdiction. Okay, now what aggravates the hell out of me? When a lawyer does it. It's one thing when a layperson does it. They're usually full of crap anyway because it doesn't take a lot of research to find it. But when the layperson does it, and at least they got an argument. I'm not a lawyer. Now, I'm not a lawyer either, but I understand the Constitution and it's very basic. And they were written by lawyers, people. Majority of your representatives have always been legal professionals. Okay? Now, what amazes me, here's a story. Back in Chicago along Highway 55, the law said that you had to be 150 feet. Now, I'm not sure about the distance. That said that you have to be 150 feet away from the edge of the expressway to put up a billboard, a sign advertising. Okay? Well, then one day all of a sudden, a billboard pops up on the side of the highway and it's like 50 feet away from the edge of the highway. Well, the state, they're like furious, you know, they go to court and they argue for a court injunction to get them to remove it. And the lawyer for the billboard company looks at the judge and says, Your Honor, it's 250 feet away from the edge of the highway. And the plaintiffs are like, that's ridiculous. We measured. And then the attorney that had the billboard company in his representation, oh, well, see, the law didn't say which side of the highway to start your measurement. So we started on the other side. You see what I'm saying? That's why you hire a lawyer to write a contract, because you want it definitive. And that's why you hire a lawyer when you want to find a loophole. And it's done all the time by the wealthy, okay? And a lawyer, a judge will tell you it's not what they meant when they wrote the contract or the law. It's what it says. Do you understand? What it says. And to sit there and argue that these lawyers, these legal professionals throughout our nation's history that wrote the U.S. Constitution, that wrote following amendments, weren't clever enough, weren't bright enough, weren't professional enough to write down exactly what they meant. So when somebody tries to tell you what the 14th or what any part of the Constitution meant, they're diverting you. They're turning you away. With this issue, they're talking about the 14th, and they tell you what it was meant for. They're trying to argue and sway you from the fact that Donald Trump does not have the rights as the president to rewrite the U.S. Constitution. So when somebody gives you that argument, know that they're trying to sell you a pile of bullcrap. Oh yeah, it says that, but they meant the black slaves. Well, go to law school, pick up a law book. Just take a second and understand what the law is. It's a definitive clarity. When a contract, when a law, when a constitution is written, every legal professional knows it has to be precise and 100% what you want and what you mean to say. My words and my opinions here at the Mike Poole Report, people. You gotta read between the lines when somebody is trying to sell you something, whether it's a car, whether it's the Constitution, or whether it's a president of the United States trying to crap on the Constitution. My words and my opinions here at the Mike Poole Report. Thank you.